On a cold and rainy night in the skies above America's Pacific Northwest, a hijacker clutching a $200,000 cash ransom jumps from a plane. More than 4 decades later, the crime has never been solved, and the infamous hijacker remains best known by the pseudonym D.B. Cooper. When Cooper hands Florence Schaffner a note, the 23-year-old flight attendant assumes that yet another lonely businessman is giving her his phone number. But Cooper insists that Schaffner read the note. The message says Cooper has a bomb, and the flight attendant should sit next to him. After opening his briefcase to give Schaffner a glimpse of the explosive device, Cooper lays out his demands. The skyjacker wants $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck on standby at the airport in Seattle. The plane circles in the air over Puget Sound near Seattle for around 2 hours, while the local police and FBI gather 10,000 $20 bills bundled in rubber bands and procure 4 parachutes from a local skydiving school. Witnesses describe Cooper as a man aged in his mid-40s, around 6 feet tall and smartly dressed. He is wearing a clip-on tie and mother-of-pearl tie pin, from which many years later, the FBI will build a possible DNA profile of the hijacker. When the plane takes off again around 7:40 p.m., there are only 5 people aboard. Captain Scott, his co-pilot, and a flight engineer sit in the cockpit. In the cabin, Cooper is joined by flight attendant Tina Mucklow. On Cooper's instructions, the plane is scheduled to stop in Reno, Nevada to refuel. Its ultimate destination is Mexico City. Cooper demands that the plane fly no higher than 10,000 feet and no faster than 100 knots, or about 120 miles per hour. Cooper also insists that the landing gear must remain deployed, the wing flaps lowered 15 degrees, and the cabin remain unpressurized. Out of Cooper's sight, the plane is followed by 2 F-106 fighter jets, scrambled from a nearby Air Force base. A Lockheed T-33 trainer jet also follows, but runs out of fuel and has to turn back. None of the pilots sees anything or anyone exit the Boeing 727. The last person to see Cooper is flight attendant Tina Mucklow, when he tells her to join the rest of the crew in the cockpit. Investigators believe this could be the moment D.B. Cooper made his exit by leaping into the freezing cold air, through the clouds, and to an unknown fate. The search for Cooper initially focuses on an area near the city of Ariel in southwest Washington state. According to FBI Special Agent Larry Carr, no experienced parachutist would have risked jumping in the treacherous conditions braved by Cooper. He says clouds blocked Cooper's visibility, and the jump was uncoordinated, meaning he didn't have an accomplice waiting for him to land. What's more, a reserve chute picked by Cooper was only for training and had been sewn shut, something a true skydiver would have checked. In 1978, a hunter finds the fragment of a placard for lowering the back stairs of a Boeing 727. The placard was found along the flight path of the plane. 2 years later, about 20 miles south of Ariel, a boy finds $5,800 in damaged cash from Cooper's haul. 8-year-old Brian Ingram recovers part of the ransom cash while vacationing with his family on the Columbia River. The discovery of the money leads some investigators to believe they were looking in the wrong place all along. The Bureau officially ended active investigation of the case in July 2016, citing a lack of new information. More than $194,000, the equivalent of more than $1 million today, has never been recovered. The FBI suspects that D.B. Cooper didn't survive the jump, but their guess about what really happened is as good as yours or mine.